The contemporary era ballot for Major League Baseball in 2023 has now been released. On it are 8 names of 8 different players. I'm going to give you who I believe should be added to the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame this year and why. So, let's get into it. So what's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And as I said in the open, today we're discussing the contemporary era ballot for Major League Baseball. The 8 players that are on the current ballot: Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Curt Schilling, Albert Bell, Don Mattingly, Fred McGriff, Dale Murphy, and Rafael Palmeiro. Now, one of the things that was kind of surprising and made mention of by John Heyman over on Twitter was that one name that was glaringly obviously missing was Sammy Sosa. And yes, there's a lot of controversy with Sammy Sosa with steroids, with PEDs, but so was Rafael. And Palmeiro was not as good a player as Sammy Sosa. So there's a lot of question marks about this. I can tell you right off the bat, Palmeiro is not on my list. There are 5 players of this 8-man pool to pick from that I believe are Hall of Famers. Now we start with the obvious, and that is Barry Bonds. To me, Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer. Say what you will about his PED performance or questions therein that have never actually been wholeheartedly proven, although they're pretty much accepted. The thing about Barry Bonds is that even before, if you discount everything that he did from 2001 on, everything, Barry Bonds is still a first ballot Hall of Famer. Barry Bonds is the only man in Major League Baseball history to have 500 steals and 500 home runs. Not to mention 7 MVPs, played Gold Glove caliber defense, and this was just an all-around player, even before he went to San Francisco. So say what you will about the performance-enhancing drug era, there are, in my opinion, already guys in the Hall of Fame that did steroids. Not to name any names, but to me, there are already those players. So discounting the greatest of them all in terms of offensive production is just a travesty. Likewise, Roger Clemens, on the pitching side of things, deserves the same exact inclusion. For the same reasons Barry Bonds deserves it as a offensive player, Roger Clemens deserves it as a pitcher. 7-time Cy Young Award winner. This is a 300-game winner. There is no other player on this list that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame as much as these 2 players, in my opinion. Now, again, with the controversy that surrounds them in terms of PEDs, there's always going to be their naysayers. There's always going to be people that dislike them for their personality. Speaking of disliking people for personality, Curt Schilling also makes my list. Yes, this is a very abrasive person when you look at him on Twitter and the way that he kind of interacts with journalists and all of that. Sure, this Hall of Fame is about baseball. And Curt Schilling was a winner when it came to pitching in baseball. And to me, this is one of the greatest postseason pitchers we've ever seen in Major League Baseball history and deserves his inclusion. This is a top-notch, no doubt about it, winner in Major League Baseball. So for me, Curt Schilling also makes the list. Now, the next 2 players are very special cases to me. And I think that both are and should have been Hall of Famers on the original writer's ballot. But here we now have a chance to clean it up. Don Mattingly and Fred McGriff. To me, Fred McGriff is the player that is most penalized by the steroid era. His 493 home runs would not seem so drastically different from those players if there weren't steroid users, right? If you didn't have guys like Rafael Palmeiro, Jason Giambi, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Jose Canseco putting up these monstrous home run numbers, Fred McGriff would look like an absolute beast because he was. Fred McGriff deserves entry into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And Don Mattingly is one of the greatest career peaks we have ever seen. Yes, his career was cut short because of injuries. We should have and could have seen a whole lot more from him if he were healthy. And I think that if Mattingly had played a little longer, he probably would have made it on the writer's ballot. But here we are, a chance again to clean up the writers' faux pas. Don Mattingly deserves to be in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. And to me, being able to add these 5 players to the Baseball Hall of Fame only goes to continuing the legacy that is the Baseball Hall of Fame. Yes, there's question marks with Clemens and Bonds in terms of their steroid usage, and there's always going to be that. You don't have to add an asterisk to their names, because when people tell their stories, it's already written there. There's no doubt when you look at the game, the statistic, the history of this game, these 5 players need to be a part of the legacy that is the Hall of Fame of Major League Baseball. Now, yes, I've been on their cases for the last several years that we've been here on this channel. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Curt Schilling, Don Mattingly, Fred McGriff all need to have their name called on the stage in Cooperstown as Hall of Famers. I don't want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings on this down in the comment section below. Let me know if you would have included Albert Bell, Rafael Palmeiro, Dale Murphy, or anybody else that was left off the writer's ballot. Let me know those thoughts, those feelings down in the comment section below, and we can discuss it further. You can find me over on Twitter at banter_baseball, and we can keep the conversation rolling. As always, keep it locked into our entire GLMG family with WeSib, the Granite Geek Show, and your favorite baseball channel here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast by hitting the subscribe button on all 3 channels. For sticking around to this point, I want to point you out to 2 of our partners here at the Baseball Banter Broadcast, Lids, as well as Epidemic Sound. When you look to the show notes, the description below, you can find links to both of those sponsors, both of those partners here for the channel. And if you want to show us more support, you can always head over to baseballbanterbroadcast.com. You can use any one of the number of promo codes that we have up on the site to be able to take advantage and save yourself some money on your holiday shopping and supporting us here at the Baseball Banter Broadcast. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Keep it locked in all off season long as we continue to look at all the latest news, notes, and my personal thoughts, theories, and opinions on the game of Major League Baseball. Peace.